Tonight, more than 3 months into the pandemic, Arizona's case numbers are still incredibly high. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kariba Devine.
And I'm Tramai in for Mark Curtis. Those numbers all point to a dangerous trend, one that we all hoped would be different by now. The state has more than 54,500 cases. 1,342 people have lost their lives because of the coronavirus. The Department of Health Services says more than 429,000 people have been tested. But when you dig deeper into these numbers, the daily positive rate for tests is more than 21%.
Arizonans wanting to get tested for COVID-19 are telling us that they can't get appointments, or in some cases are waiting hours on site. Joe Dana shows us what happened over the weekend and gives us the latest on testing backlogs.
The desperation a lot of people are feeling just to get tested was on display over the weekend in the Southwest Valley.
These long lines were at a testing event in Maryvale, sponsored by the City of Phoenix and Sonora Quest Laboratories. We spoke with people who were feeling symptoms of the coronavirus, waiting in their cars, some for more than 10 hours. These free testing events are especially important for people in low-income neighborhoods. A spokesperson for the governor's office tells us regarding the weekend, as cases increase and contact tracing expands, our private lab partners have experienced increased demand in processing tests and notifying patients of their results. The Arizona Department of Health Services is actively working with these private labs to provide them with additional resources to maintain and expand testing availability for Arizonans. The state's ability to test is only as good as the vendors it contracts with to conduct the testing. We asked the governor's office and the Department of Health whether the state needs to bring in more labs to handle the load. We are still waiting for their responses.
And the governor's office tells us the most common types of coronavirus tests are up 40% the last 2 weeks compared to the 2 weeks prior. Joe Dana, 12 News.
Joe, thank you.